What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's edition of the Hot Seat. I'm in the saddle with my boy, Taylor May Speaks tonight. Super excited to be in with you guys on this week. We got everybody in the building. We got Clubhouse, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our newest platform, which is Lord, I did all that just to get my brain to get fried on me. What's the one, the dancing one?
Oh, yeah. Oh man, TikTok.
TikTok. I'm so sorry, TikTok. Y'all forgive me. My brain was like, what's the name of it? What's the name of it? So yeah, TikTok. We got TikTok in the building as well. And so we're excited to be here with y'all tonight. So welcome in, Taylor. What is going on? First of all, congratulations to you are in order. You have a child that just graduated. So congratulations to you. I have a child that graduated too, non-traditionally, and your child graduated traditionally. So snap clap.
Exactly.
Super exciting time for us as parents, watching our children graduate and start venturing out into this lovely world and identifying what they want to do, who they want to become. It's really exciting.
Absolutely. It is
Very exciting.
it's joy to a parent's heart, right? I mean,
It is.
you have provided, you have guided, you have did the best that you can be, and now that's the reward for us because we see our fruits, right?
Absolutely.
And so they have to be that adult and kind of navigate their way through life.
And it's always cool to see them, knowing that we've instilled these great morals and standards and things like that within them. And it's always cool to see them actually living that out and actually being that person. It seems like sometimes when we're parenting, we're like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen with my baby. I don't know if they're going to make it. And then when they start showing that they were listening, adhering, paying attention and all that, it just does something to you. It gives you a nice, warm, fuzzy feeling on the inside.
No,
Because we
100%.
don't know what be going on when we're raising them. We be like, Lord, I don't know what's gonna happen with this child, but help me, Jesus.
No, absolutely. And then they go through things like we as adult go through, right? But they go through
Absolutely.
a different way. And I mean, at times I was worried. I was like, I don't know if he's gonna make it. You know,
Somebody
but
asks you, how your child doing? You're like, oh, they good. They doing real good. And you're thinking in your head, I don't know what they doing.
exactly. So I mean, I'm happy, and I have to thank God
Absolutely.
for seeing him through, and I thank God for yours too. That's congratulations to you too.
Yes, my daughter graduated from cosmetology school last month. And
Absolutely.
so she is pursuing that career and already landed the dope position and all that good stuff. So she's doing her thing and I'm super excited for her. So, just grateful. And that's the youngest one. So she turned 20 and graduated same month. So
Good.
it's really cool.
Congratulations.
Yeah, making great strides. So let's get down to it. Guys, we're not going to be talking about our children all night, but we wanted to definitely show some love for the children that we raise. And they doing their thing right now. So we're just excited about that. But that is not the topic that's on the table tonight. The topic on the table tonight is going to be really, really good. And so it's something for you to really consider and contemplate out here in the world that we're living in and trying to identify somebody that you want to partner with for a life partnership and things like that. So let's talk about this. It's going to be a hard conversation because it's going to go against the grain of what we're normally accustomed to thinking or experiencing from the social stance that we live in now. So, what does a relationship look like if there's no tangible exchange or no physical exchange? Tangible meaning somebody is gaining monetarily from being partnered. And of course, physical is sex, period. What happens? Can you build a relationship without the tangible exchange or the physical expression? Is that realistic? Does it really happen? Is that something that's from the Stone Ages and we just should throw out the moral stance of no sex before marriage, so on and so forth? So we're going to talk about this tonight. I found some all kind of information from scholarly to just plain ratchet, from people who have these different mindsets and ideologies. But you know what, Taylor? One thing that I was thinking about as I was researching this and kind of developing my own thoughts about it, which of course I've always had my own thoughts about it. I sat there and I really pondered, what if you meet somebody and you really like them as a person and there is no sex and there's no money on the table? What in the world? What do you build off of? And why have we not built off of values and morals instead of superficial stuff? Why haven't we done that before now? Why is it that in our normal idea of relational exchange, there has to be money and there has to be sex? Why is that? Why haven't we had a moral compass which says, you know what, let's take some walks on the beach. Let's go and visit a local museum, a science and history museum. Let's learn some more about our ancestors and things of that nature. Let's go to, the drive-in movie theater, or let's have a picnic, those kind of things, and just kind of get to know somebody. Let's go take a run together. Let's go jog, some beautiful day. It's early. Meet me at the park. Let's go take a nice jog together. You know, why haven't we built our relational truths on those beautiful foundations and principles? Why are we so obsessed with, oh, they got to take me to this five-star restaurant, and you know what? I got to get some of that. I got to make sure, that she got the prime vagina. What's going on with us?
Well, I think that it depends on the position that and I'm going to speak from. I'm going to look at it from a woman's point of view. Although I'm not a woman, I'm not speaking for women,
Right, y'all.
but
He's not speaking for women.
no, I'm
He's
not.
speaking
I'm not. Yeah, I'm just speaking. I'm speaking in general, but I
generally
think that
speaking.
I think that if you are looking at the woman's lane, let me just say that, and where her stance, because there are some women that makes the money, so they don't need any money from a guy, right? So
Hmm.
when we look at the conversation as far as if there was no money, I think that if the woman is making money, right,
Hmm.
then she's not looking for money from a guy. I think that if she's busy, and there's some people that work a lot and is tired and um don't even have sex when they come home. They're just tired, they're exhausted, and they're doing it again, right? And
Hmm.
that's a complaint. So if you have a woman that's not looking for money, she is not really uh looking for sex because she is busy, her time is busy, and might be consumed with other things. Then you have a relationship where a woman is just looking for a companion, and
Hmm.
that is just somebody as ooh, a, a place. I love. One thing that I do love about these conversations is that it's like either to those that are let's say, let me put it this way, non-spiritual, a light bulb just went off, and for those that are spiritual, an information just was downloaded to
Hmm.
me. So there's people that are placeholders, and
Mm.
sometimes
We
in
talk about that in one of our books. We published about that in one of our books about placeholders.
right, and sometimes
Yeah.
you're looking for just a placeholder. I don't
Mhm.
need a man to do anything, I just need a man to be there. And vice versa, there's men that just need a woman there because based on his position, he needs to have a woman by his side, right?
Mhm.
He don't need them for really anything else, just to be there and play their role, play their part. So it just all depends on what they're looking for, and I feel that now let's talk about the
But
flip
let me
side.
ask you, but let's go back to the
Yeah.
placeholder though.
Okay.
In most instances, if you're a placeholder, you're doing something to keep that place.
Yeah.
Is there is that not the case with placeholders? Because if I'm gonna be a placeholder, it's gotta be some kind of exchange for that to be a placeholder. Because normally it's not realistic for somebody to be a placeholder if they're not giving up something or gaining something. It's some kind of exchange normally with placeholders.
I just need you to look pretty.
Mm,
I don't need you to do anything. I just need
mm,
you. I just need you to look pretty. So when we go out to functions, I'm up to par. That, I mean, there's literally people that requires that. um I think that now maybe in exchange, yeah, you're just looking pretty, but you are benefiting from it and I'm
right,
benefiting from it, right?
right.
So
And there's some kind of benefit because if somebody's doing that, it doesn't make sense for them to do it and not receive something for it.
well, yeah, I think I mean, if you look at it that way, the exchange would be, I don't know, you're living in a comfortable home. I mean, you're living in a nice
Mhm,
home. You might get a, you're utilizing a vehicle that you're not paying for. You don't have any bills. But I think um it just all depends, right? I think that you'll hear. I remember growing up, I hear a lot of women that were with guys that didn't add any value into the relationship, and I just scratch my head and wonder, why are you with him? But it wasn't
mhm.
exchange, it was the sex that was the
Right,
exchange.
exactly. Right.
But it wasn't the money. It wasn't anything else. Nothing else that you could think of this guy was good for, but besides having sex. Um, but like I said, we can go further to say, hey, there is people that they're not having sex and they're not contributing financially, but I just want a man physically in my life. That's it.
Mm,
And people have settled for that. Vice versa. I just want this woman to look her stunning best anytime we go out. That's it. There's women, a matter of fact, let's just call it what it is. There's women that don't even have sex with some of these guys, and the only thing their requirement is to look good and make him look good and make him feel good, and that's it.
those I would have to say that those are kind of few and far between now, especially with media being so hyped and all of this over sexualization in the society. I don't know. I can't even, as many different conversations that I've seen on this topic, I've not seen very many where somebody has come on and said that they're in that type of exchange. I've heard all the other extremes, like this person, it's only a physical. This person is only the bag. I just want him because he has these resources that I need access to right now. Or, hey, he's a pipe laying fool and I just appreciate the pipe. But I haven't seen any, or it's been a very small percentage of people who were like, "Oh yeah, she's just a trophy and I don't want to ever sleep with her." I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. I mean, I know you probably, especially with the practice and business that you have been doing as far as coaching is concerned. I know you probably seen some extremes like that, but I have never seen an extreme like that where a guy was like, "I just want you to look pretty, but I don't never want to sleep with you." That to me is bizarre.
Yeah, majority of the cases that I've seen is just people that are just stuck. Like,
Mm,
and guess what?
that makes
Neither
sense.
party is gaining. They're not gaining anything. They're just maintaining. They have property together that they're
Mhm.
stuck on this property. They cannot leave. They don't have enough money to buy each other out, and they're just there. There's no sex. There's no money. There's nothing. They're just at a standstill. They're stuck, and they're just maintaining.
Yeah.
It,
But those kind of relationships started off differently from that. That's like on the exit for those kind of relationships. But what happens to the ones where you're starting and you're fostering that strong bond and the strong friendship and you want to build something with that person, but the guy says, "Hey, I'm not getting ready to give up all my money." And maybe the girl says, "Oh, I'm not going to physically express myself, right now." How do you build those bonds and get that to maintain that type of dynamic especially in this society that we live in right now, it literally goes fully against the total grain of what we see in society right now. How does one even maintain a beautiful experience like that? Because in my mind's eye, that's a really dope experience because you got to, first of all, you got to be extremely creative. And you definitely have to think outside the box for something like that. You got to really, really think outside the box to have that type of experience with somebody to be like, you know what, we're going to do something totally against the grain. And this is how we're going to make it happen. Because you got to really, really be creative. Because you think about how many dates can you really go on where you don't have to pay something for those dates.
No, yeah, I agree. It really boils down to what do you call it? A what's the word I'm looking for? A not a decision, but a an agreement. And that's the thing. You know, most people, the reason why most relationships don't work is because they don't have an agreement.
That makes sense.
No one sits down and say, "Hey, let's start agreeing on these factors." But see, people just come in relationships and they expect, well, I
Hmm.
expect you to do this because I saw this through my upbringing, through my dad. I expect you to be this way as a woman because my grandmother was like this to my grandfather. There's no sit down and say, hey, this is what I like. This is what I don't like.
Hmm.
Can we agree on this? Can we agree that this irks me and I don't want you to do this? Like there's no true conversation and agreement. You know why open relationships work? And I know that people are gonna raise their eyebrows
Ooh, they gonna raise both
because
eyebrows.
I'm talking about open relationship, but the reason why open relationship work is because it's an agreement. They sit down and have an agreement. They had a conversation to agree on certain things. And so I think that if non-open relationships, right, will work if the two individuals just sit down and have and agree on things. And that's the thing. You have to compromise. You have to be open. You can't always be the one that's always winning. Let's, okay, you surrender that, I surrender this. Let's see if we could come to some medium, right? I'm not saying
Mhm.
lower your standards. I'm not saying that one person win and the other person loses. I'm saying what can we both agree on? And if one person say, hey, I really don't want to have sex, and hey, I really don't want to spend my money, so let's have an agreement on things that we can do where we don't have to have intercourse and where we don't have to spend money. Yeah, you might think, well, TaylorMade, that's not realistic. I think you're living in a world that is not realistic, because I think it's the most realistic you can get
Yeah.
is having a conversation with a person and being honest.
Mhm. And I think that a lot of times that work is what people don't want to do
I know.
because that's a real requirement is that if you say we're not going to be physically expressing ourselves and we're not going to utilize a bunch of resources to build this foundation that we're establishing, then that's when the real work begins. Like, whoa, what does this look like? Because, like you said, it should be a sense of normalcy. It should be a regular behavior relationally. Like, what's the crime in this? This should be something normal, especially while you're getting to know somebody. But that's just not the case in a lot of instances. People, matter of fact, this guy um, that I'm friends with, I almost have to say every other conversation that I have with him, he's always talking about his money. Always, and I'm like, dude, I am your friend. I don't really care about your income, your status when it comes to that because I am your friend. There's no interest. I have no interest in what you're offering. But he just constantly has this desire to keep divulging that information. I'm really comfortable, and in my next step, I'm gonna be doing this and that, and I'm gonna be doing this, and I'm gonna be, and this is the kind of money that I'm gonna be making, and and I'm listening to him talk. I'm like, but I'm just your friend. I don't. There's nothing. You're selling me on something that I don't intend to buy. And I'm like, and that is that is this shift in the mindset, I think, is what the real challenge would be, because there's so many people like that who lead with whatever they have, tangible or physical. Like, I know, I've heard women say, you know, I know that I'm gonna have to do this to get that. I know I'm gonna have to do this to do that, and da 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 da. And listening to them with those mindsets, I'm like, why do you have to do anything to get anything? Why can't you just be? And that's what I think about when I talk to that guy. And like the last time that I talked to him, I said, hey, I really would appreciate it if you stop sharing with me about your income, because I really don't care. You and I are not building something for tomorrow to where this is even a conversation that we need to have. It's like totally unnecessary because we don't have a future. If we had a future or something and we were down the line, having this conversation like for some type of future, then yeah, that would be something that we would definitely have to discuss, to see where we are and see how we can, build that bridge together. But we don't have a future. So why do you feel like you need to keep talking about your money? Why just, I'm just saying, I'm just talking to you as a friend. Well, as a friend, I don't need that. I don't need that conversation with you. And I think a lot of times we can't even really enjoy a person because we're so obsessed with what it is they have or can do, instead of just being with that person. It's almost like the coming to America concept. The reason why I really like coming to America is because it gave it gave him a fair opportunity to be able to identify somebody genuinely that he could build a life with. And then it gave her a chance to see him as just a human being without looking for a bunch of stuff and things. So it gave both of them this amazing opportunity to get to know each other as two individuals and build something amazing. But really and truly, realistically, him having to hide who he was the unfortunate element. He should have never had to hide who he was, for them to have something. But unfortunately, it seems like a lot of times, in order for people to really get the result they want, they got to pull back or hide, or not divulge certain parts of them in order to find the person that they really want to be with. And I think to myself, why is our society not able to handle this as a normal way of living? You know what I'm saying? A normal way of thinking. Just date, do something to where get to know the person without the stuff and things. Is it possible? Do people really even is there people that even really want to have that type of foundation to build on?
I don't know if I should go there.
Go.
I think I,
Just go.
you know, I, I'm gonna hit on race, and then I'm gonna hit on
Uh-oh, here we
yeah.
go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. I think that I mean, if you look at TV, and I mean, maybe you could guess the race. If you look at TV, from a society where we come from, you'll see who have the big chains and who have the flashy cars and stuff like that and don't own anything. They don't have a home that they can call home. They're not buying a home for their family, their parents, nothing. But everything that they have earned and lived and worked hard is around their neck. That's a whole nother story, right?
Mhm.
But I just want to say that because I'm going to say this. I think people that have something, whether it's finance, whether it's love, whether it's success, um we don't brag about that stuff. I think for me, certain things I know that I'm really good at. A matter of fact, I some things I don't need to hear anybody tell me that, wow, you're really good at this, because
Mhm.
I already know.
Mhm.
However, you will never hear me say that I know that I'm good at this.
Mhm.
A matter of fact, every time somebody would say I'm good at something, I'm always grateful and thankful and humble. So I think that a lot of those people never had it, and they feel that they have to now let you know that they have it.
Hmm.
And those people that have to let you know that they have it really don't have a lot. Anyway, that's another.
Or because they haven't had it in times past, they feel like they have to prove that they do have it
Uh,
now because they haven't
uh,
had it before. And they gotta
uh,
fit and they feel like, hey, I gotta prove to everybody that I am, this person and I've got this, I've acquired these things, I've done these things. And because I haven't had it before, nobody was gonna believe me if I were to just say it, I got A, B, or C, A, B, C, or D, because I've not had anything. So in order to feel like, I am who I really say I am, I need to show you. I gotta prove it because nobody's gonna believe me. Instead of being comfortable in their skin and saying, you know what, I don't have to prove anything to anybody. I'm good. I I don't even need to go through all that. It's not even necessary. Because really, truly, like you said, in a nutshell, real wealth is quiet. It's
it
anonymous. Nobody
100.
really even, I mean, if you think about it, the only reason why certain people had to come out to tell about their wealth and things like that, if you will, is because society forced them to.
Yes,
But people that are really, really wealthy, they don't want everybody to know because it creates a chaos that they don't want to deal with at
100.
all.
And with wealth and with wealthy people, the real flex, you know what, I'll just share this. You know what really excites somebody with wealth is to do something for somebody else and see their reaction. Like having a lot of money to a wealthy person don't get them off like that doesn't, like, the money is there, we see
Right,
it every day. It's just like
right,
somebody poor, they see
right.
the poverty every day. That doesn't, but if I'm able to now that guy that's always telling you about how much money he has and what he's going to do next and stuff like that, now if he was to pay for your daughter to go through her cosmetology school, or set her up for buy her own like a building.
Mhm,
Now he could brag. See, rich people would brag there, right?
mhm, mhm,
Because I want to do something nice for you. See, poor people, and when I mean poor people, i.e., the people that are bragging, have to tell you how much they have. They ain't doing nothing for nobody. They're not flexing, but they're
mhm.
telling you how much they have. And when they traveling, they're not taking you with them
Right,
to say, hey, look, I just booked a ticket. I just want to know if you wanted to come to Dubai. I'm going to Dubai, and you could bring your family, you could bring some friends. See, that's the real flex, but they're not doing that, right?
right,
They're just telling you how much they have in that account. But
right.
but vice versa, male or female, this goes for. But I think when it comes to relationship, yes, there is an exchange. It might not be an even exchange, because sometimes the person that you know is receiving,
Mhm.
they're not asking for a lot. Some people are not
Sure.
asking for a lot, right? So yeah, there's an exchange, and there's a benefit. Maybe it's security, right? You see a lot of women, they're looking for how should I put this? Uh, I don't want to a provider. Bingo. Right. I'm looking for a provider. Right. So yeah. So if they find a guy that can provide, that's the exchange. Right.
Mhm.
Some guys love providing. Some guys
True.
love for women to be dependent on them. Oh, I did this
Mhm.
for my girl and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And some women like their men to do for them, right? So yeah, so that's an even exchange. Now, if that was to erase like the topic we're talking about, then yeah, we might have a big problem. Houston, we got a problem. Okay.
Mhm.
There's a matter of fact, I watched something on social media. It was mind blowing. A matter of fact, right?
Mhm.
And and anyway, so yeah, so when that exchange is erased from the picture, whether money, whether sex, yeah, we got a big problem in most relationships,
Mhm.
because I think today's society, we need money like
Mhm.
more than ever. Not like back in the day where, you know, the woman stay at home and she cook and the man, whatever he makes, bring it home, it can provide for the family. Now one income can't provide for a family,
Mhm.
right? You need two, three, you need multiple levels of stream of income, right? And so now you have women are saying, hey, you got to look, you got to get 2 and 3 jobs to these guys. Like, your one job, you're 9 to 5. Most people, social media, from what I heard, these women don't want a guy with 9 to 5 job. They just don't. They don't want to wait for a every 2 week paycheck. So that guy better work his 9 to 5 job. That's fine, but what are you bringing in as a CEO on the side, right? Because I need more. I need more. I need more. Just like guys, when it comes to sex, right? You as my main woman is just not enough, right? I need you, and I need this other girl on the side, and I need this girl at work, and so it's this crave for money, this crave for intimacy has quadrupled over the years.
And I wouldn't even call it intimacy because it's not intimacy at all. You know, intimacy is me and you connecting and bonding, and it
Oh,
doesn't have to turn to sex.
yeah, those days are slowly dying.
And that is the scary part of relationships, because if you really think about it, when you're in that phase of identifying a purpose person, getting to know people, forging friendships, having those times where you're hanging out, kicking it, just wanting to kind of get to know what's going on in your city and your surroundings, if you physically exchange energy with a lot of those people, you're really destroying yourself over time. You're self-harming and not even really realizing that you're hurting yourself. It may feel good in that moment, it might be magical for that moment, but after you start taking your notes, you found out that you slept with 4 or 5 people this year. You slept with 4 people next year. You slept with 5 people and every time you turn around, you're just constantly breaking yourself down, but you're not being built up anywhere. Or the guy on the other hand, you know, there's another guy that I know here that I ended up coaching. And I said, hey, listen, he felt like based on, what he'd experienced in life, that he had to always invest all of this money when getting to know somebody. I said, no, 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 no. First of all, you're setting yourself up to where this woman is going to believe that this is her receipts on
Yep.
a continuous basis. You're setting her up to believe these are her receipts. This is what she's going to get over and over and over from dealing with you. She's not looking at you no more. She's looking at what you're giving out. She's forgotten all about you at this point because you're constantly driving this currency in exchange for the opportunity to connect with her.
Yeah.
And she sees it and she's benefiting from it. And now the guy, you think of a guy who does that and he does it over and over and over. He's killing himself. He's again self-harming. You're literally damaging your ability to even exchange properly when somebody does show up in your life that is healthy, that wants to get to really know you, because you've done so many things to hurt yourself that now first and another thing too, after you've done that for so long, your ability to trust is in the toilet. So now somebody has to deal with all of these other variables attached to you that normally would not have been there. You would have been healthy. You would have been okay, just having this young lady in your space and in your life. But now, because of all this stuff, you're always on the defense and not on the offense, and just enjoying the opportunity to have this particular woman in your life. And it's so crazy because it's just been this chaotic circle that's been going on for so long. I was listening to this podcast not long ago, and this guy made up a really valid point. He said, how about everybody chill for 6 months?
Yeah.
How about spending time, on the phone, chopping it up, FaceTime, whatever, however y'all want to do that, spending time, talk about what your life has been like, without divulging a whole bunch of information, but lightheartedly talking about what your life has been like, what your family experiences have been like, how's the in the industry where you work, what is it, just lightheartedly
Yeah.
connecting with somebody. Then, and then he talked about and building up from there. He was like, do you know how powerful it would be if you just took the weight off yourself and just let your hair down, if you will, and just enjoy it. And when he was talking about that, that's where, I started thinking about that whole idea of, okay, let's eliminate the physical and let's eliminate the tangible and let's just connect. Because if you really think about it, Taylor, if you're 40, right, you've already established a life.
Yep.
So anybody that comes into your life, you've already established, you already have a life.
True.
So looking for them to do anything outside of the companionship initially is really it's unnecessary. If you've already had a life that you built out, you're 40 years old, you've been on the planet for 40 years, you've done something, and you already had something established before that person showed up, regardless of what that establishment looks like, regardless of it. You've already had something established before that person looked like. How about just the companionship, the connection,
Then,
the
yep.
exchange of energy? How about just that? And let that be that so that you can really get a fair opportunity to know somebody for a change.
No,
Because it's devastating. You think about it, Taylor, how devastating it is for you to go through 4 or 5 people in 1 year, and you got to go through 4 or 5 people in the next year, and you got to go through 4 or 5, and you're just going through these processes, and all the while you're burning out. You're burning out. Discouragement sets in. Then you find yourself in depression. Then you find yourself, at a point where you're just like, I don't even want to do this no more. I'm done. And
exactly.
then that's where those statements come in. All men are no good. All women are gold diggers. That's when those languages start to show up in people's lives because of how you've exchanged energy.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I like that word that you said, disconnect. I think it's very important. I used to not believe that. I used to say, why are you disconnecting from things like that's
Mhm.
um until where I didn't think I disconnect, but I just kind of took a break, and I didn't purposely take a break. I just my attention swayed to something else.
Elsewhere, yeah.
And so I wasn't, like, say, on Instagram that often, right? And so when I went back on Instagram, start going through the feed and some of the things that I'm hearing from human beings, I'm just like, I am dumbfounded. I'm like, what has happened? I only left for like maybe a month or two. Like,
It don't take long. It
no,
don't take long. And
no.
people are, I tell you, it is just you've got to be so grounded,
Yes.
so sure of yourself, very confident. You've got to be extremely confident and you've got to really be in a place where you're good with who you are, where you are and what you have in order to really even to be able to even start the process of trying to date somebody.
No, 100%. I mean, I know people I've met on the first, like not we haven't been intimate, nothing like that. Met on the first. Then it's like, hey, so where are we going? Where are we traveling to?
Nowhere.
Where are we
We're
traveling
we're just
to?
yeah, I'm just trying to get to know what your favorite color is. Why
So
I gotta travel to do that?
it's whew, I'm so glad the old me has left and the new me.
Listen,
I'm like, where we traveling to? Oh, we on that time? Oh, okay. Like, okay. So
listen.
but I just think that society, TV shows,
Mhm,
music industry,
mhm,
it's a fast pace life, very fast. technology. And so, yeah, the one-on-one connection is dwindling. But like I said, there are people that's out there that still believe in that intimate
Absolutely.
talking about, and I'm happy
Absolutely.
that they do exist. You just have to find them. But
And you got to be patient.
yeah,
You got to be patient and really just enjoy
yeah,
the moments. Somebody said, and I don't know whether it was you or you said it when you were talking about how before we used to go out and hang out and you think in your mind, man, I might be my person today. Let me go ahead and, let me just kind of get myself together and go hit this grocery store. Today might be my magical day. And now it's just like, yeah, yeah, whatever. But I think that open-mindedness and that comfort, that being comfortable in your skin and just being good with it and being like, hey, you know, I just want to get to know you. Can we just do that? Is it okay to just do that? Like it's funny. This guy was saying to me today when we were on campus, he said this particular individual that was walking um, alongside me, he was like, he was obsessed with what he was seeing, right? And I told him, I said, well, it don't matter if he was obsessed with it, what he was seeing, because I wasn't, shaking no trees for him. This is it just is what it is. And I said, I have to know me. I
yeah,
have to be good with me. And I have to be like, you know what? When it happens, when the time is right, when the person shows up for whoever, you just got to be you got to be super content
yeah,
and in that energy to where that person just comes along and they can just coast and just kind of take a chill pill. And I think a lot of times the reason why people can't go without the sex or without the tangible exchange is because they don't have permission to. They've not been given that permission. And I think relationally, if a woman were to give a guy permission to say, hey, you know what? I think that it would be most advantageous for us to take a walk in the park and gave a guy a permission slip. I think a guy would take her up on that.
100%.
And if a girl would say, just honestly, not with all the other stuff attached to the physical expression, say, hey, listen, I really would love to get to know you. And right now, me physically expressing myself with you, I think that we can wait on that. I would love to wait on that after we get to know each other and really, build this wonderful bond because I think it would be much more beautiful there than it would be right now. We don't know each other. I don't know nothing about you. And I think your body is just as important as mine is. And have those kind of conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like, let a guy know, hey, your body is just as important as mine. I'm not the only person who has value, sexual value. You got sexual value too, sir. We can chill. And I'm good with that. And the guy be like, oh, I never saw myself as, man, I always thought that I had to do this or that. Because some people, like I said, they haven't had that permission slip to be able to chill.
yeah. There's so much. I mean, as you was talking, like my mind is going like 1,000 miles an
I
hour
know it is.
in
Mine too.
in so many different areas. I mean, you have people that they're living through somebody else's fantasy. They're living through somebody else's their girlfriend. You know
Right.
how their dad treated their mom and how their mom treated their dad. Like, to me, that was great. I'm glad that you saw that growing up. However, I'm not your dad, right?
Right.
And you're not my mom. And so we got to do what's best for us today, and absolutely what we like 100%. But I can't refer everything I like through somebody else, and that's the problem, right? Whether it's on TV, whether it's Keeping Up with the Joneses, whether it's um, I, 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 I heard this, and this really, really shocked me. You know, like this individual stated that they don't want to go out to a restaurant that you already, like the guy already knows what he wants.
What you mean?
She wants the guy to sit there and to go through the menu with her. Like, oh baby, do you like this? Oh, this look nice. That it was the most,
Why?
I don't know, but like I said, people have their preferences, and that's the thing. People are coming into these relationships without having these conversations with the other person, and
Mm-hmm.
having their they're having their assumption and how they would like something to be, and not just be. And that's what you're talking about. Just
Mm-hmm.
be. Just be. Getting to know somebody is allowing them to be themselves,
Right.
and vice versa. And then if I like you as yourself, like everything else is a breeze.
Period.
But everybody is being something else. Like that guy is always flaunting his money. Money, 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 money.
Mm-hmm.
I dated a woman in the past where it was all about money. Everything was first class. Look, Miss Coffee, when I mean everything is first class, I was influenced. I'm not going to say force. I was influenced to be a covenant partner at a church.
uh,
This was a famous church in Georgia. I won't say the name, because she wanted to sit in special seating in the front.
oh, wow.
Because if you're a covenant partner, when they have big events, you covenant partners get to seat up front in a special seating. So everything was this, I don't know, this first class. And don't get me wrong, I like first class. I love to not wait in lines. I mean,
Right.
that's amazing. However, that's not my life. I do like to talk to people in lines. That's my personality. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have a problem waiting in line,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's what my and I had and I ended it. I walked away. Now, I could have had a free ride. I'm going to be honest with you. I could have said, you know what? Although I don't like this stuff, but she got a nice house. She could drive a BMW. She makes six figures. We going in first class and everything. I'm here for the ride. I'm not that guy. I'm not that person.
And you wouldn't have gotten the results that you really wanted relationally,
Uh,
because at some point it would have been totally out of who you are as
oh,
an individual, and that's where that burnout comes in, and then people find themselves going elsewhere
100%.
to just be themselves. They're
Yeah.
like, you know
So,
what, I liked this with you, but now I just want to be myself. I don't want to have to be a character in a film anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be in a movie no more. I just want to get out of the movie, get out of character, and just be a normal person.
here's the thing. So that's when I go down the street and pick up that person down there. That's the average person or the normal person, the person
Mhm.
that's not materialistic and didn't come from a great home with a spoon in their mouth. They don't have a degree. They don't, anytime though, like those guys that be cheating, these women be finding these guys. They be like, you could have did better than that. Well, he did do better than that. He chose everything that you're not. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave it right there.
Ooh, listen, it's a lot to think about when you want to have a very
Yes.
strong, healthy relationship. It starts with oneself. How are you treating yourself? How do you perceive yourself?
Yes.
What kind of relationship do you have with you? Do you honor you as a person? Um, do you invest energy and time into continuously improving yourself? Personal development, the time when you just invest in yourself, um, just doing things and building these building blocks that will help you to become, that attractive, amazing person that somebody wants in their life, and I think when we start with self and we have those relationships with self, taking yourself on the walks in the park, you know, doing the solo picnic by yourself. I saw somebody about a week ago. A lady was out, she was chilling out in the park. It was nice, really, really good mild weather. She had her little the little sack thing, when you put your little lunch in or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was just sitting there enjoying her lunch and reading a book, just chilling. And when I got done jogging, I came back around the thing, I saw her still there. I said, kudos to you. Kudos to you for giving yourself time and attention. She said, you know what? I am literally just rediscovering the power of my moments, just the power of it. And I was just like, man, kudos to you. Kudos to you. Because people would look at you like you're crazy. You sitting in the park, you got your lunch, you're reading a book. They like, what are you doing? Why are you here by yourself? Why am I not by myself? I've got to have time with me. And I think when we do that and we build those wonderful partnerships with us, giving us that good big old hug, man, I love you, the one I'm looking at in the mirror. Then when somebody else shows up in our space, it can be a totally amazing experience. And this is not to suggest, we're not saying, never be intimate, never go out and do nice things, but that's not what we're saying. All we're saying is when it comes to a foundation and starting something, why not start it in a way that is priceless? And those memories that you have, man, to be able to sit and have conversations with somebody and sharing those type of priceless moments, people will be like, wow, wow, like, wow, how did you do it? How did y'all maintain that? That is amazing. Just to do that is just so freaking powerful. It really is.
No, I totally agree. I just, oh man, it's when you were saying all those things about rediscovering yourself, I mean, I look at the people that are doing the work,
Yeah.
and then the people are looking at it as that's not me, or the reach seems so far away to get to that
Hmm.
place, you know, or they just don't know how to get to it, or I'm too busy, I gotta work and I gotta do these things, and it's you know I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm so grateful that I was able to just completely pack up and leave, uh,
Hmm.
and really, because that's when I started discovering myself,
Hmm.
on that journey. But while I was there making the money and I guess keeping up with the Joneses, I mean, I don't know what else to say, right? I mean, the job, jumping from one government job to the next and climbing the ladder, what have you. I just was so busy. I didn't have clarity. I couldn't see those things. And I
Hmm.
just thought this was the norm and this was what to do, right? Um, but I think it's when you have that realization in your life and when life kind of slap you upside the head, is when you're like, whoa, like I need to I need to take care of me, and until that happens, people are just gonna do what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I think, with more conversations like this one and more people kind of really discovering the beauty
Yeah.
in it, I think we can really see people find and identify a phenomenal person to build something amazing with, and the most priceless moments that I have are when we just sitting on the couch laughing at something, doing nothing, just sitting on the couch laughing at something, or comments like, "What? Why you ain't? What's going on with your hair today? What you do with your hair today?" And just stuff like that. Just being able to laugh, be free, take a chill pill. Those moments are invaluable, absolutely priceless, so amazing and so pure, and it just makes relationships so much more beautiful. Like what you were talking about earlier, that's the intimacy. That's those moments where you're just there and you're just in the same moment, in the same place, just breathing each other's air. And it's just amazing. It just feels good because your person is, you just with your person. and that person just brings so much value to you, and you're not looking for anything from them. You just enjoy their presence. So important.
Y- y- y-
And go ahead, Taylor.
Now, I was gonna say, a lot of times at work, a lot of times those relationships that you never was really interested in the person. You ever hear that those stories? He grew on me. I used to hate that term. He grew on me. I don't want to grow on somebody, but you know why?
Period.
Why that person grew on you? Because you wasn't attracted to that person in the first place, but you got to know them beyond their outer appearance.
Absolutely. Without the beyond the physical prowess, and then you started to see that they had so much value that could be added to your life. And that's
Absolutely.
the reason why. That's another reason why it's so important to take a chill pill, take that time to really get to know that person, because it's so much power in that. Like, man, I got to know them. I got to dig deep. We just built this beautiful bond. And so when we did exchange, when we were physically connected and we did our thing, it was magical because we had those moments to build up to. But Taylor, we're already at the top of the hour. This has been a fantastic conversation as always. Love when we have these conversations and just kind of, think about some stuff that, is going on in the world that we're living in, and how we can get some things popping a little different than what we're seeing right now.
Absolutely.
It would be just wonderful to see things just manifest just a little differently. Hey, Michael. He's so funny. That's Claiborne. Claiborne is a mess. But yeah, I just think that would be so, so amazing. You see Michael talking smack.
Yeah.
I love it. I always like having him around. He is so funny. He gonna have to come back on the show and hang out with us one week when he's not moving around like he's been moving around lately. But Taylor, I
We
always
I was gonna say we need some okay, no, we straight on this show, but we need some intimacy with Michael. Like we need some quality
some
time.
connection, some QT, some
Absolutely.
QT. Yeah, not quantity, but quality
Absolutely.
time. Yes, most definitely. So thank you everybody for hopping in, hanging out with us on tonight. I am P. Coffee Brown, and this is Taylor Made Speaks, and this has been the hot seat. We will catch you guys next week, same bat time, same bat channel, talking about another amazing topic: love, light, leadership, legacy. We're heading into a new show coming up this fall, and so some things are going to be changing. Super excited. Super excited, but definitely love and thank you guys so much for being a part of the show tonight. We'll catch you guys again next week. Grace, peace, and blessings. We'll see y'all soon.